Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Ro, and for this video I'm going to be talking about week in review. The high points, the not so high points, and just some random thoughts that's been noodling around my brain lately. So I hope you stick around. So since I've decided I was going to do a week in review type of audio for this, because once again what I'm doing is recording the audio for this separately from a previous footage I already have sitting on my desktop. Just a little bit awkward, but this is the way I'm doing things for the meantime. It's the way that works, so I'm just going to go with it. So last week was kind of a mixed bag. I had a 4-day weekend. And you'd think that having just about 2.5 days of work would be a breeze, but nope. It was a bit of a nightmare, actually, just because of commuting mishaps. Like the train I usually take was pretty much suspended for 2 days in a row. The first night was because some accident, somebody jumped on the tracks, and I tried to take a cab, and that didn't really pan out. You can kind of see me kind of bantering about it on Twitter. It was a nightmare. And the next day, I actually had the same type of commuting problem after work. Again, a suspended train, the train line I take anyway, because of like electrical fire. So yeah, that was fun. Thankfully, Friday was a short day, but work was kind of a pain in the ass that day. So, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass every day, sort of. But it was a short day, so it's always a plus. At least the commute home was pretty uneventful. So yeah, that was my week at work anyway. As far as highlights go, I attended NYCC yesterday, Saturday, got a Saturday tickets. It was a blast. It was amazing. I'm probably going to save a lot of the my NYCC kind of a mini report for the next video, just because I want to actually show what I picked up from that show on Saturday. So I'm just going to do a separate video on that, I think. But just to sum it up, it was great. I pretty much made a pseudo plan about who to see, who was I going to see, like artist alley wise, and like booths that I wanted to see, like just, you know, it was, I knew I was going to get prints from a few select artists. 3 out of 4 wasn't bad. Tim Bradstreet was there. I finally found his booth. That he was with Storm King. But when we got there, he was actually not at the table, so we walked off and just kind of, I don't know, wandered off for a little bit, and just never really got back to that booth. I actually didn't really see any prints there that was of his, so I'm not even sure if he was selling anything or if he was just there in support of his work with them, or I don't know. So, but I got some artist prints, a couple books, and a couple other items. Nothing too excessive. So anyway, I'll probably talk about that in the next video. Like I said, just to actually show you the visuals on that. So that was definitely a highlight. What I'm thinking is next year I'm going to end up purchasing like 2 days worth of tickets, maybe a Saturday or Sunday, or Friday or Saturday, just so I can kind of not rush through it, because I would have liked to actually made the rounds in a not so crazy, like quick manner where it's just this urgency of like, let's get to everything we want to see, but we never really get to. But yeah, not a big deal. Next year I think I'm gonna take a better camera and take a lot of photos of cosplayers, because they had some really, really cool and interesting ones. It seemed like a fun thing to do, so yeah, that's the plan for next year. So that was definitely the highlight. Still buzzing off of it from yesterday. Today's Sunday. I'm recording this on Sunday, what time is it now? It's 5:54. And yeah, so that was definitely a plus. That energy level should carry me throughout the rest of the week, I'm hoping. And I try to take a lot of pictures from there, but you know, you get caught up in the moment and you just want to enjoy and savor the energy that's there and like enjoy everything. There's so much to look at and so much to see. It's just kind of an attack to your senses in a good way. What else happened? That's pretty much it. And I'm actually looking at notes here that I jotted earlier, just to have some kind of framework for the audio for this video. Because I wanted to make like key points, and sometimes I often forget mentioning things that like just random thoughts that I've had that I wanted to talk about. So I figured I'd just jot things down in this just a little notebook to help me kind of talk about whatever's in my head. The next thing here that I wrote down is importance of reflection. I wrote that down because just lately I've been really, really super busy, and I'm trying to fit everything in a day, it seems. And it's just, you know, when you're burning the candle at both ends, when you have a job, I mean, I like my job, don't get me wrong. It's a good paying job. I get to do a little bit of art, but it's like a combination of what I'm good at, which is like IT and a little bit of creativeness, more IT stuff, more tech and web stuff, new media type things. But what I really like to do is sit down and draw. I used to be a big fan of just doing like fan art, I guess what people would consider fan art now. And not really for sale, not to sell, but just to draw, to work on just techniques, you know. If there's something that I like, you know, a pop culture reference that I like, I'd like, you know, that's, for example, like Goonies or something, or, you know, like, I don't know, The Walking Dead or something like that. I like to draw the characters in them just because it's really fun, and you know, you learn a lot of things by drawing that, especially portraits. So I just do that for me, for myself, not for sale. I know there's a lot of controversy about fan art and all that stuff. I don't really want to get into that, just because it's really something that I don't do. So to each his own. I actually don't get to have that much free time to work on larger pieces of fan art anyways. So the time I do have to devote on creative pursuits, I'd rather work on my own stuff. And that means either studying new techniques, trying to gather some inspiration for the current project I'm working on, or future projects, or actually drawing just whatever, anything comes to mind. Right now I'm really into like abstract line art, kind of playing around with it, just experimenting, nothing too serious, just experimenting with forms and lines and creating textures with pen, with ink, you know. I think it's just so much easier to create textures, I think, with pencils and graphite just because of, I guess, the different shades that you can come up with. As far as ink is concerned, it's a little more tricky. You can try to experiment with it, but it's definitely not the same thing. I think it's more difficult. So I'm always looking at line art and just old, very old drawings, and see how people have done it. Just basically look at textures and how did they get this to look like it's this, or how did they get this line to look like it's ridged or pebbled, or I don't know, stuff like that basically. And I like abstract stuff to a certain degree. I do it because it's very it's like liberating, because I don't lay down any pencil marks. I don't, for the smaller grid drawings that I do. I just go straight to the paper with just the pen. I just whatever I come up with is the final product. I don't sketch it out in pencils first. So there's no such thing as mistakes. If I make a mistake on it, it's there forever. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to tear it up. I'm not going to correct it. It is what it is. So it's kind of freeing, and it's kind of pure in that manner. However, the larger pieces that I've done, I think I have a couple. I do plan those out just because I actually wanted to have a little more structure than the smaller grid series that I'm doing, or the sketch card size drawings that I've been doing. So those, I definitely plan those out. Like I see an image in my head and I'll sketch it out, and then I'll kind of I'll build onto it. I'm wanting to work on a larger piece here soon, but I'm trying to focus on this current grid stuff that I'm working right now, just because I want to get it done. But I'm probably going to sketch out some preliminary designs for the larger piece. But by larger, I mean I think it's 11 by 14. If I still have that Bristol pad. If not, I'll probably have to order it, of course. So that's in my roster of things to do. So anyway, back to importance of reflection. It's really important that you know where you want to be, and what actions you have to take to get there, and that you have to stick to it. So how does this apply to drawing? So basically, know what you're working on. Like what do you want as an end product, Do you want to have a mini comic? Do you want to have a comic book? Do you want to have a graphic novel? Do you just want to have nicer pieces so that you can possibly make prints of it and sell it? And then once you decide that's what you want, then you figure out, well, how am I going to get to that point? How do I get from point A to point B? What does it require me to do? What does it require me to learn? And just build on those steps. And the most important thing, I think, besides the idea, is to actually just, when you start working on it, just stick to it no matter what. Because you don't want to have a perpetual project. It's just going to be in the same stage forever, and you'll never finish with something concrete in front of you. I think all creative people go through that, where you just want to be perfect. So don't overthink it. Just get it done, get it out. Of course you want it of quality, but I know a lot of people, good artists and writers, that are just constantly working on the same project. Have to redo this, have to redo that. Like, man, just get it done. Because I want to see it. I want to read it, or I want to buy it. Just get it done, So it's important that you know where you want to be and what actions you have to do to get there, and you have to stick to it. You have to be persistent. You have to protect your time. You have to tell your friends or family or whoever, I need to get this done. This is something I really want to do, and it's important to me, and I would like to dedicate some time every day to work on it. And if they really care about you, they'll respect that, you know. So I think it's important. It's also important to reflect, because then you'll know when something's not working. And when something's not working, you can adjust accordingly. You know, you're not just going from A to B just because you want to get to B. What if the path to point B is, you know, it's kind of rocky and it's not feeling right in your gut, or it's just not, I don't know, just something's not right. So you kind of deviate from it and change it up so that it feels right to you. Personally, I try to learn from all my experiences, good or bad. I think there's always a takeaway from every situation, you know, even the negative ones, especially the negative ones. I think that's how you evolve as a person and as like an artist in general. You have to, you really have to like assess, you know, what went wrong and figure out why, and then what can I take away from that, you know. I'm talking about art now, but of course this applies in life, but just in general assume I'm talking about artwork and creative pursuit and all that stuff. Yeah, and if you're not happy with your current portfolio, or you know, why am I not like producing as much, or why is my artwork not looking the way it looks in my head, then just you have to sit back and figure out to yourself, because you're the only one that's going to figure it out. Nobody's going to come in and tell you. So you have to be a little bit put a little bit of reflection and introspection and into how you go about things, and just correct it. So it's good to learn from everything, because if you're not doing that, if you're not learning, then you're going to get stuck in a rut. And yeah, I've definitely been there more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, and it's not a good place to be, because then you're just, you know, all the negativeness just hang around, and then you start feeling sorry for yourself because you're not, I don't know, you're a bad artist, or what's wrong with you, why can't you be like this. That's another thing. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just do your thing. You have your own style, so just keep drawing what you like. You should enjoy it, you know. At its most purest form, just enjoy what you're creating. Not because it's cool, not because it's what everybody buys, just because you're having fun. Because kind of, I mean, really, isn't that why we started drawing anyway? I don't know about you, but when I was little, I drew a lot because it was fun. And as we get older, I think we lose a lot of that sense of wonder and like, hey, look at what I did, you know? Look what I made. And it starts becoming like, oh, how can I make money off this? And it's just good. We all have bills to pay. I get it. But when you start approaching everything in that manner, sometimes it kills it. But I think the struggle too is like, once you start creating from a pure place, like, okay, now what do I do with this? Now that's when the marketing comes in. You kind of have to be business savvy as well. But don't let it be the thing that drives you to make stuff. Does that make sense? I don't know. I hope it makes sense. Also, me right now, I think I'm gonna focus on art and sharing and engaging, and you know, and try not to get caught up in the video itself for now. At this stage, I don't want it to be overcomplicated. I think it's just best to make stuff. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to working on my personal projects. So when I do, I want to just draw. And usually when I draw, I have my camera next to me, and I'll just set that up and record and not really talk. I'll have like background noise, and during editing, I take that out and I insert the actual audio that I want overlapped on it, which is what I'm doing now. So hopefully this video is recording and it's decent enough for that specific video. So yeah, I think for me, my plan is just focus on drawing, share it, and engage with people. I love sharing my stuff. I love drawing, so you know, just want to keep doing this and maybe share my art and just do more videos, and just want to be consistent with producing videos. And I'll worry about making it all, I don't know, more cohesive later on, maybe. So where are we at right now? I'm looking at my camera. It says I've been talking for about 19 minutes and 34 seconds. So I suppose this is a good time to end it. It's either too short, or too long for the videos I have on my desktop. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. So again, thank you for listening to my video and watching it. Hopefully it was mildly entertaining at the very least, or that you took something good from it. I'll try to get another video by next weekend. Possibly my NYCC roundup, just to show you guys my NYCC haul, the stuff that I picked up. Because I have a lot of books. I picked up a lot of graphic novels, not just from NYCC, but throughout the week. Picked up a couple of books and a couple other things, so I have a stack of things to read. So till then, be kind to one another. Hope you have a great week, and see you in the next one. Thanks.